Well, let's start the discussion with a look at the two companies' grocery divisions. Shoprite is the dominant player and Massmart has a presence via Makro, Game, Foodco, CBW and Cambridge. So where do you do your grocery shopping first up?
Well, I normally go to Woolworths to the extent that I do grocery shopping.
So you're a snob?
I'm definitely a snob when it comes to grocery stores. But occasionally when I'm trapped in the rural areas, I'm forced to go into a Shoprite Checkers. It's an interesting experience. I mean, it's obviously pitched at the lower middle income kind of customer. However, they do have their offering in the Checkers Hyper type environment. And as you know, Checkers has been repositioned from a brand which was a bit lost in the 1970s to kind of now their run at the sort of upper end type of customer. But look, Shoprite is by far the dominant player across the region. It's got the most stores, it's got the most sophisticated distribution center driven model. They're very good. They are, taking market share from everyone, particularly Pick and Pay. So
you obviously own them as well.
Dominant, yes, I do own the shares, that's true. And Wati Basson has done incredible things over the last decades.
I can see right through you. Levan, while we're getting personal, where do you do your grocery shopping? Did you think you were going to escape the question?
I'm a bad shopper. You
don't do the grocery shopping?
I don't. I drive past a store and if I see something that I like, I buy it. So it's quite random. But I've certainly had occasion to go into Pick and Pay, to go into Woolworths, Shoprite, and some of the stores that aren't listed. In terms of brand identification, the bulk of South Africans are able to identify the Shoprite brand. It's something that has a growing presence, more than 900 stores. If you notice this past 12 months, they've put on weight by another 120 stores. And that counts for almost a 15% increase in exposure. Doesn't necessarily mean the till has increased by the same fraction. We've seen an 11% increase in terms of earnings. Turnover translated into a significantly higher number. But whilst they are growing a presence throughout Africa, entrenching their South African presence, it shows that it's been an increasingly difficult time to eke out the fractional profits that they saw in the previous period.
Neither of you are giving me enough colour on Massmart and their grocery operation. Does that mean that it just doesn't feature in this discussion?
No, not at all. In fact, I mean, Massmart is enormous in this space. So the fact that they are sort of spread across different brands is part of the confusion.
So there's brand dilution?
Well, no, it's more a case of how they've divided up the market. So you get Makro, which is one of the largest retailers of dry goods, but they don't do any fresh meat and they don't do any groceries and that sort of thing. But you see those enormous trolleys that those spaza shop owners go in there and buy. You see people that have traveled down from Zimbabwe that buy enormous trailer loads of baked beans and ship them back home.
So dry goods, Massmart has got the edge.
But that's only part of it. We know that they've redeveloped this new Foodco offering, which does do the fresh produce stuff, and they're going to expand that significantly. Then there's Cambridge, which is the bright purple, very low cost, positioned in taxi ranks kind of model, and that they're really putting a lot of pressure behind, looking for new sites, and they're looking for sites
Where's
that are close
the
to...
Foodco brand positioned? I haven't seen the stores.
It's Foodco, there's one in Rosebank, and really what it is, it looks to me like Pick and Pay with a couple of extra, lines like cheap appliances and that kind of thing.
Have you seen a Foodco?
Yeah, it's in the Game stores. To me, it seems as though it's a shop within a shop. They may have standalone operations, and I haven't noticed that, but I do know very close alignment with Game. What I have noticed, typically for a retail individual looking to do grocery shopping, he's going to go into Shoprite Checkers. For a wholesale operator, there's brand identification with Massmart. Game has been a destination store for people that want anything from appliances to crockery, not necessarily your groceries or your fresh produce. Now with Foodco, they're trying to draw in the retail market.
But I think you've defined it well. Right now, then, we can say that Shoprite is ahead of the game in the grocery division.
Yes, because understand, we're not only talking about groceries in the sense of produce, but in those stores you get all of the full gamut of household products.
Exactly.
Everything from dishcloths to electrical goods to cans of beans to school stationery. And that stuff is fundamental because everybody needs that sort of thing. And Shoprite, in the mind of the customer in this country, is the cheapest price place to go for that kind of everyday shopping item.